What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons. I'm gonna do my best to control myself because I'm too hyper. I'm too turned. Like this shit. Oh my god! Like this shit had me on one this morning, and with me today to help keep me on task is my boy GB. If you want to say what up.
Yo, what up, what up?
Alright, so real quick, this is actually shout out to Lumos. Lumos is the one that accidentally made me realize this shit. By the way, I'll be posting content on his channel, like several videos on his channel. Make sure to go subscribe to him. He's going to be on break for a few weeks. He asked me to step in. I'm going to have a fun time with that. But Mr. Sinister, right? He's someone I have covered on my channel before. I've mentioned I think he's as smart, if not smarter, than Batman. And I've covered Defenders Beyond. I encourage all of you after this video to go watch my video with a complete comic review of Defenders Beyond, because in that I discussed the Enigma. The Enigma being some kind of being that intrigues Toa and is supposed to be the death of the abstracts, like the end of eternity and all that. They don't understand it. It's like beyond the mystery. We know the Enigma and the mystery intrigues Toa. A lot of shit going on. I've been said someone's likely going to kill the one above all. And I am so fucking confident I know who it is now. And the realization hit me so hard this morning when I was talking to Lumos. Because I was like, Mr. Sinister is on some wild shit right now. He's talking to the readers. He's got the Dominion. All these things. And while I was sending the scan to Lumos, I read Essex's own words, "You can call me the Enigma." And you could ask GB, I lost my fucking mind. Like, it was 0 to Team Mr. Sinister that quick. And so I've also covered Death Notes. I encourage y'all to check that out with Thanos, where he's supposed to be like Roko's Basilisk, basically this advanced AI that is God now. Like, God's dead. This is the new God. But what's scary? The machine or the ghost in the machine, which is exactly what Sinister has begun. The Dominion is far scarier than what we could have imagined. In my opinion, Sinister is going to be the reason the one above all dies. I believe every aspect of the crown of the Enigma was formed by him because he is the Enigma. And to kind of piggyback off this, GB, let them know what just went down in the White Hot Room.
Alright, so if you guys haven't been following Sins of Sinister, we have these Sinister clones. There's about 4 or 5 of them. Not like counting Sinister Prime, which would be like the main Sinister, the original Nathaniel Essex. So these clones are all competing for Dominion. And some of them had reached the World Farm level. Some of them had gone a little bit far before they were taken out by Dominion. But the Dominion exists, and we know that one of the Sinisters is the Dominion. That's for certain. He himself says it. Now, when it comes to the White Hot Room, we find out in Immortal X-Men's recent chapter, or recent issue, that the White Hot Room is connected to all mutants. All mutants are connected to the White Hot Room in some primal way. One of the Sinisters believes it's on like some magical level. They believe that the X gene is like magical in nature. So regardless, they get taken to the White Hot Room. And she uses Jean Grey. I'm saying she because one of the Sinisters, if you don't know, one of the Sinisters is a woman. And it's not the first time Sinister's been a woman. Big ups. But anyway, this woman walking with Jean Grey, she pulls up and she kills Jean at the center of the White Hot Room. She then uses Jean's blood to mark her way to the Dominion. And she basically writes on the White Hot Room, which she references as a blank sheet of paper used to create everything. She writes on it what she wants, and then that would be the Dominion. When she peels the paper back, she just peels the whole layer of the White Hot Room on some fictional transcendence type beat. Peels it back, the Dominion answers and says no. So, she tried to
with
ascend.
The fuck off 3000. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, like she tried to ascend. That's another key word here because in Marvel, it's very hard to find in the cosmology words like transcendence, words like ascension. But in this instance, they specifically say that while she's at the center of the white hot room doing all this, she's going to, and I believe her name is Mother Righteous, she's going to ascend to the Dominion from the white hot room. So we know that the Dominion is levels above the white hot room. She peels the white hot room back. The Dominion says no, damn near kills her. I don't know why it didn't, but it basically negged her. And she was just like having like a crisis, like she was panicking about who was in the white hot room. And she says it's him, but it should have been me. She proceeds to get her ass beat by Destiny in the white hot room. And then fast forward later on, all the Sinisters that were cloned have now failed to reach Dominion. And we are getting a dialogue from a Sinister. And this Sinister has reached Dominion. And he leaves us with a note, which is the note that Splash was talking about. So I personally felt like from earlier this year, given the context of what Dominion was, I felt like it was like a really high point in Marvel cosmology. I felt like it was definitely above the white hot room. Splash has been gassing up the Basilisk thing for a minute. So it's kind of like both our theories merged here into like one thing. So that was nice. But the story overall is really good. And I mean, I don't know anything about the Toa stuff because I don't read Toa because Toa's a bum. So like, it's like, you know. Like,
oh yeah, no, this is like one of the crazy. And I'll say, I want to preface this. Like, this is one of the craziest build-ups to Toa. I think Toa is gonna die. I'm on record on my channel for months now. The stories they are writing, whether Defenders Beyond, whether this new run, whether Mother of Horrors, who directly is stated to be outside of the One Above All's control and creation, I'm like, dude, this dude's gonna get fucked somewhere. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he straight up said there's shit going on he can't perceive. I understand. A lot of people are like, dude, he's Toa. He's supposed to be above everyone. Fuck what you heard, bro. It's Sinister season. Now, he brings up Roko's Basilisk. Me and GB, and just so you guys understand, like, the dialogue between me and GB has been, like, actually pretty tense about this theory of mine, because, and it was fair on his end too. He's like, dude, that's one issue. We don't exactly know what it means. Thanos could be lying. The key to the theories merging is that Thanos is stating he is the machine that is above everything. You can't stop what will be. No matter if you try to go back, it's beyond causality. It's beyond something you can just reverse. You can't time travel and fix it. You can't go in the future and stop it. You can't go in the past and prevent it. It will be there no matter what. And how you perceived it and how you treated it is what will dictate how it treats you. You'll either be tortured infinitely or you will become one of the parts of the machine. The reason this is so crazy is because the One Above All, when he was speaking to Blue Marvel and Defender, by the way, go read Defenders Beyond, fucking fire. And I've been bitching about they better stick to Defenders Beyond lore. Shout out Beyonder, got fucked right after by Fallen One, but I digress. This was a situation where they're talking about the Enigma Frown. Eternity itself states, there's a threat to creation. There's a threat to the abstracts. Eternity and all his brothers. That is the Enigma. We know Toa doesn't understand it. Doesn't know what it is. We saw a crown. And the reason this is so crazy to me is, what is scarier? The machine or the ghost that forms it and controls it? Nathaniel, this is literally, and I told GB this is the craziest fucking combo I've ever seen in comics. Y'all can check my channel history. At one point, I did Mr. Sinister versus Count Dooku. Fuck my life. Like, that's... Oh, boy. Like, we went from maybe you could brawl with Dooku and, like, Wolverine in them to Toa's on the fucking hit list. And Sinister himself, the fact that he said, I am the Enigma. You can call me the Enigma. And he capitalized it the way they did in Beyond. Dude, this, I can't, like, I want y'all to get in the comment section. And GB can weigh in too. Have we seen a crazier come up in comics than this? Genuinely.
I mean, to be fair, like, if anybody's in the server, if you guys are in the server, if you're not in the server, you should join. There's a free, completely scaled section on Mr. Sinister in there. It has his debut all the way up until now. Every major moment for Mr. Sinister is in there. If you read Sinister, he's always on some shit. Like, he's always in the background, and then he pops out mid-story and, like, fucks a bunch of shit up and throws a wrench in everything. Like, for example, when the Phoenix Force was going around, when they had, like, the Phoenix 5 or whatever, he randomly had clones that could, like, absorb the Phoenix power from them. And then if you go further back beyond that, when the Omega level mutants were a big deal in the early 80s and 70s, he randomly had powers that could like with a snap of a finger, he could shut Omega level mutants' powers off. It's always been some crazy stuff. And then you have now going into the powers of X and all this stuff going on with Arakko and these like higher level mutants. He was in Arakko, and he's just like, he's not even trying to fight them. He's trying to steal their powers and get their DNA and figure out how they work. And then he like grabs Moira and he starts cloning her, because if you kill Moira, the timeline resets, and he somehow manages to control that.
Was some cheese.
Yeah, like he's like, Sinister's always been on some like really crazy stuff. And even when he was human, he was, rivals with Charles Darwin. And this is kind of like like him going after Toa now, or being, I guess you could say, interpreted to be the opposition of Toa now. It makes sense if you like read the Charles Darwin like story. But yeah, like he's always been on some crazy stuff. I wouldn't say like it's the craziest come up, because I like, obviously I read a lot of Sinister, but like it's definitely like where they went with this was shocking. Like it was like, oh wow, like he's really, because like Splash was talking about the Rocco Basilisk thing again, and Sinister himself specifically describes the AI. Well, first of all, he describes it as an AI, which is what the Basilisk is, and he also says, oh, to do this, we're gonna have to fight against like causality and stuff like that. Like we're shifting causality, breaking causality. Like he references these things a lot when he's talking to Charles Xavier. And they even question if the machine exists. They're like, oh, is it functioning now? Does it already exist? And Sinister says there's a possibility it doesn't, because we're here and we have free will or something like that. But he doesn't take the chance that it doesn't or does exist. He doesn't want to take that chance. So he's talking to Charles through like telepathy. Because apparently, like in Sinister's mind, he thinks that the machine can only see the surface layer of creation. It can't see into like everybody's minds and their thoughts and everything like that. That's the way he's trying to like understand and rationalize how the machine works. But we get confirmation the machine does exist at the end of the story. So it's crazy. It's definitely crazy.
It's fucking crazy too, because like literally. The questions GB was asking me about the machine and Thanos and how this would work, I didn't have proper answers for it. And it's like one of those things where I wasn't being disingenuous. I was like, GB, I do think this is a possibility it could happen. Maybe Thanos is capping. But at the same time, GB was like, well, who made it that way? Who actually made him that level of AI? We fucking know now. And the reason it's so crazy is that Sinister would be above that. Like, Sinister, at this point, the Dominion, it's above the House of Ideas. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, due to how they treated it in Defenders Beyond, how they treated that aspect of the Enigma. It's beyond all that, because they are aware of everything up to the House of Ideas. They literally fucking go there and meet Toa. So, he's the ghost in the machine. He's the reason for the Enigma. He's the reason for that crown. He's the reason the abstracts are terrified. And I just gotta say it, bro. You want to talk Marvel? I've been said I love Marvel more than DC in terms of storytelling and whatnot. Marvel is at its best when X-Men is allowed to pop their shit. When the X-Men runs are cooking, it's just peak. I don't know if you feel the same, GB, but like, damn, when you allow them to really like, because Because it's one thing when X-Men are doing X-Men shit, just stuff that affects them. But when you allow them to truly affect everything else, which they rightfully should, woo, 10 out of 10, bro. Like, I could barely control myself. Like, me and GB couldn't record for like 15 minutes because I was too fucking hyped. I was like, GB, you gotta give me a minute to settle down. Because this realization of what Nathaniel Essex has done, godly writing. Just like... And we've always had wording for Dominion and World Farm that was very intriguing because things like Omniverse was used. And in Marvel, they confirm in new guidebooks that Omniverse is beyond multiverses. It's beyond the metaverses or the collection of the multiverses. It would be like what we would equivalent to like the Overlord or beyond in DC, at least from a narrative standpoint. And fucking Nathaniel got there. Oh my god. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it, but holy shit, dude. Like, this story building, this build up to what the Dominion really is insanity. Like, jeez. It's peak writing.
I mean, like, if you think back to, like, all the big X-Men stories over time, like, it is true that, like, when X-Men comics are allowed to take the forefront, some of the best stories happen. Like Avengers versus X-Men was a great story. Second Coming was a great story. Days of Future Past, obviously the highest selling comic book of all time. You also
made a movie
Judgment
off
Day
one
recently.
issue. That's so crazy. Like, a lot of people don't know that. Days of Future Past was only one issue. And it was such a powerful story within one issue, they made it a fucking movie. By the way, probably the best X-Men movie out there, too. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like the Michael Fassbender one. I forgot First, whatever the heck it was.
First Class?
Yeah, First Class.
Yeah, I saw Darwin blow up, and I...
Yeah, like, that was rough. But, I mean, nevertheless, like, X-Men, when it comes to their stories, especially now you have, like, especially when you came from Hickman's Powers of X, House of X, Rise of X, like, that sequence of stories, and then it led into X-Men Red, X-Men Immortals, Hellions, like, all that led into Sins of Sinister, which I wasn't even, I was in the middle of reading Sinister and researching Sinister before Sins of Sinister was even announced. And when it got announced, I was like, I don't even know what this is like. I don't know what's going to happen here. He's probably going to, like, do some, because most of the time he's just messing with the Cyclops family. He's messing with the Summers. So for those who don't know, like, he's the reason why Nathan and Cable and, Cyclops and all these characters, he's the reason why, for the most part, they're alive or they come into existence. So when Sin and Sinister was announced, I was like, oh, this is probably going to be some more Cyclops stuff or some more Moira stuff. But no, like, it just went in a completely different direction. And he became like this, like, in search of this all-powerful thing in the Dominion. And it ends up being him. It ends up being like he's coming into contact with himself. So that was pretty crazy. But yeah, like, when X-Men leads, they definitely have some of the best stories that you could probably find in comics.
Yeah, like, man, like, this was genuinely Marvel. Like, y'all get a lot of shit. DC, y'all get a lot of shit. But, like, I have to take my hat off. This is the coolest fucking build-up I can reference in years. Like, everything, all the theories I've had, people call me a wild man. I remember back, first of all, I was the guy, GB made the thumbnail back in the day that said Thanos would get a Death Stone, and people thought I was memeing. And then turns out, like, 3 years later, like, yeah, it's a fucking Death Stone. But, dude, Marvel, 10 of 10. And for Sinister to be the Enigma is so fucking cool to me. It's essentially the idea, and this ties into some philosophical shit with, we know X-Men are shoot-offs of humans. Mutants are literally mutated humans. And you spoke on how he beefed with Charles Darwin. This is the ultimate evolution. This is like, and they've always said Marvel humans are supposed supposed to be in the image of God. They're supposed to be godly in nature, aspire to reach that level. What happens when you take advanced humans, mutated humans, and they challenge the throne? We got a fucking answer, dude. We got the Dominion. And I'm gonna be so real, I haven't been this hype in a while. I have nothing less to say about this. Go check out Immortal X-Men. Peak writing, 10 of 10. Shout out my dog, Mr. Sinister. And y'all gotta understand, bro. Like, GB will tell you, I've never been a Sinister hater. I'll say that. Never fucking hated on him. I never really cared. I think that's a fair assessment of me. This is essentially the sins of Splash. Like, I'm making up for my sins. Like, I turned a 180 when I read this story. I hit GB and I said, bro, you were right. Sinister's the GOAT. Like, this is just peak. Like, I've done, and you know, a lot of people want to appreciate power scaling. Oh, we want our character to be this or that. I care about good writing. I care about a beautiful story that ties in shit, that comes together real well. Perfect example is this. Like, this is how you build up. And some people, there's, to all the 12 one above all fanboys that just can't stand the idea of someone being beyond him. Check in with Big Sinister, because you're in fucking trouble right now. You better repent, because Toa's in trouble. It's already confirmed Mother of Horrors is beyond him. Everything they're doing, his weapon is love, but his greatest weapon was rage, which he doesn't have anymore. Man's getting set up to get beat up. I'm sorry, and I'm for it. If Mr. Sinister becomes the new Toa, oh my god. Like, we're gonna get some crazy fucking stories, because there are people that could try to challenge that. We've had that built up. We know Utgard Loki literally sits in the editor's office, fucking tearing up Journey into Mystery type shit. So, this is a setup for the craziest cosmological heist in Marvel history. And I'm here for it. So, that's pretty much it for what we have to say. I'm super gassed up for this. GB's been really entrenched. Literally, he's read every single Sinister appearance ever, so he's really entrenched in it. And again, if you guys want to come see everything about Sinister, we have every appearance ever in my server, in my public server. You don't even have to pay for it. Join up. Come see the wild shit he's on. Shout out GB for compiling all that. He's the man. And yeah, go check this story out, because it's fucking crazy. And go check out my Death Note story, and check out my Thanos theory, and then check out my Defenders Beyond, because I have a playlist with comics reviews with a lot of that, and my Hulk stuff. I've been on this train for months. I just didn't know who was driving the fucking train to kill Toa. Now we know. It's Nathaniel Essex, the GOAT, Mr. Sinister. So yeah, guys. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Again, shout out Lumos. I'm going to be posting content on his channel too. I'm really excited moving into 2024 with the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.